Okay, I just wanted to make a little video here titled like "Get an AR," and I'm really ticked off right now because my last video just got accidentally shut off because I did something with my phone. It did some goofy crap and tried to turn it off, and so I wasted about 8 minutes of talking. Dang it, ticked me off so bad. So I have to remake the whole thing basically. But just to say, I was going through all these points of how I used to be my dad's a big shooter, so that's where I got into it when I was a kid, and I kind of fell off of it. And then, but I always like to have a gun for protection, just something weird in my mind. I don't know why. I always like to have one with me. But I couldn't really afford one when I first moved out. I remember I had like a little Jennings 22 that jammed every shot, basically. But I was able to get it for like $70 from a pawn shop. But but then I just was like, well, that's worthless. I remember I had a bow of all stupid things brought from my parents' house, like a compound bow I used to have, and that was my self defense for my apartment. uh, but yeah, so and then about like 10 years ago, I got the wild hair, and for some reason, I just decided to buy a Glock. Saw one from a guy I know, and I thought, damn, it looks cool. This is a great Glock 19, great all around gun. Great, great, great. 15 rounds in the mag. Awesome. And then I just put it on the back shelf and didn't give a shit about guns again for a long ass time. This is my gun that I kept for quote unquote home defense, you know. And this is the best home defense gun I think you can get. 15 round capacity. You could argue that, yeah, if you have one shot to stop somebody, a shotgun's better. I think given that you can just carry this around your house, you can put this under your bed, on your nightstand, the mobility factor, and the 15 rounds factor, which is a lot more rounds than most shotguns have. Or, you know, if you heard a noise, you could take this in the other room with you while you're watching TV and set it on the couch beside you. You know, you got the mobility factor. That makes it a lot better than a shotgun, in my opinion, for home defense. So, yes, if you have one shot to stop somebody, a shotgun's better for home defense. But for everything taken into consideration, to me, this is the ultimate home defense gun right here. It's compact. You can stick it in your waistband if you need to. You know, I wouldn't use it as everyday carry. 15 rounds. Nice thing about this, I was saying in the other videos, for some reason I ended up with 4 magazines for it. I don't even know how, but you know, I hadn't really looked at it in a long time, and lately I looked at it a few times. I have 4 magazines for things. I have a 10 round mag. I'm thinking like 2 came with it when I bought it, and then I must have bought 2 more or something, or maybe just 4 came with it. I don't know. It has like 3 regular mags and like a 10 round. I'm sure California legal quote unquote magazine. Probably came with it 10 years ago when I bought it. Anyways, great gun, spectacular gun. But the point of this video is the AR. You should buy one. Why? Well, they just look cool, and I mean, call it a character flaw, whatever. But a lot of times in life, I just want something that looks neat. Of course, I want it to be a good product and work, but aesthetics play a big part in it to me. Like if I'm gonna go buy a truck, I want one that just grabs me, and I'm like, oh, holy smokes, that's a cool truck. You know, I'm not just after the function, like, oh, that's a great, reliable truck. I also want it to look cool, you know? And maybe it'll look ugly to somebody else. Somebody else might look at the same truck and just not like the design. But I want it to strike me as cool. Same point with this AR. Main reason I just got a wild hair and decided to buy it last year was like, I just wanted something neat. I mean, you know, guys like toys. And I was thinking guns are like the ultimate toy, really, in a way, for a guy. Because, first of all, guys like to play it. They like to play at war, if that makes any sense. I guess it's just in our nature. But what we like to play around with, like war video games, you know. Guys like to play war. And like shooting, you know, a lot of guys are into shooting guns, and that's why. You know, a lot of guys play Call of Duty on video games and stuff. Uh, but yeah, the gun's amazing. It looks so cool, and it's not that expensive. I got this for $570 online from Smoky Mountain Guns, which I wouldn't entirely recommend. I'd recommend going through Buds just because they're bigger. But they ended up delivering me a good gun at a good price, so I can't complain too much. There was some issues with them, but Smoky Mountain Guns and Ammo, I believe, is the store I got it from. But it's a Ruger, and you can get some slightly cheaper ones, like Delton is a big one that's supposedly fine, good gun. But I would spring a little more and get either the Ruger or Smith & Wesson low-end ARs. I'm talking about the cheap ones here. If you got $1,500, I don't know about that market. You can get these for like $500 probably now. Thing is, I bought this in November last year, or even before that. It was like probably September last year, before Trump got elected. So the price was like $570, and I noticed I was kind of mad because like right after Trump got elected, prices literally dropped $100. So you can get the same gun for like $470 right now. Probably if you wanted to shop around and buy some smaller places, you could probably get it for like $450. I mean, it's insanely cheap right now. This is a Ruger. It's a well-known, great gun, very reliable. Ruger's a good brand. It's got the few things that I learned about from my AR. From about ARs. It's got this thing called a forward assist lever, or I don't know if it's called a lever, but some guns don't. It's kind of useless, but it's nice to have. Basically, for around jams, it's a way to jam it, shove the round in the chamber. And some people tell you if the round jams, you don't want to shove it in anyway, you're just going to get worse. Whatever. This thing is, some ARs don't have this. Pretty much all of them do now, I think. But it's a nice feature, and it comes on this one. It has a dust cover, this thing. And again, not something I really use, but nice to have. So, I mean, it comes with those little touches that are nice. It has this flip-up rear sight, which I can't really demonstrate to you, but that's cool. I don't know if that's like extra or if all guns come with it. It didn't have the carrying handle style, which is good for me. But yeah, the way I've got it set up, then the scope, I made another video of it, which is my most popular video actually. It's a UTG Bug Buster. I actually got this for like $30. I mean, really, it's generally like $70 or $80 on Amazon. I saw it the other day on Walmart. It was $82, and that's on Walmart.com. So it's actually, not a cheap, necessarily a super cheap scope. But it's normally, I think, $70 or so on Amazon. It's very popular there. That's why I looked into it. And not only that, but they had it on sale at the time for like $64, so it was even lower. And then I happened to have a 30 credit that Amazon had given me because they messed up my Nintendo Switch shipping, and I called and griped them out. And they said, okay, we'll give you a $30 credit on your next one. So, and at that time I had free Prime. I don't normally carry Prime, but I had done a 30-day free trial of it. It just happened at that time. They offer me a free trial every so often. So basically, long story short, I was able to get this scope for like $34, like no tax, or maybe there's tax, I don't even remember. But free shipping with, really it was $64, but $34 after my 30 credit. So to me, it felt like this is, I got this scope for $30. I can't beat that. It's not the greatest scope in the world, but overall I love it. It's been super accurate, it looks neat. That's the main reason I got it. Here we come back to the looks thing. I really like it. When I got it, my dad was all like, well, most people don't put scopes on ARs. Usually you're shooting something close, so people use red dots. Okay, I get that, but after having shot it a while, I have to kind of disagree with him. Like, when I use iron sights on this thing, they're not, I shoot pop cans a lot. They're fun because they're pretty cheap. You can buy a 12-pack of, like, off-brand for, like, $2.50. You can shake them up, and then when you shoot them, they blow up, basically, if you shake them up to get the carbonation going. And it being summer, they're hot anyway. You shake them up a little bit, and when you shoot, it's just going to rupture and just blow up all over. And I don't know, it's just fun. It's something different to shoot than paper targets. It's tactile feedback, so to speak. And they're fairly small for, think about a Coke can. So they're, for like the little pistols I'm shooting or that little Glock, they're, fairly difficult to hit. So it's kind of a little bit of a challenge, if you're 15 yards away or something. With my little guns, more like 7 yards. With my Glock, maybe 10. With this AR, it'll just kill them all day long. It's so accurate. But yeah, so like if I line up those pop cans, and even at 15 yards with the iron sights, it's like the front iron sight post covers up the whole damn soda can. It's too like brutish. It's too rough. You can't get any precision, and that's at 15 yards. Yeah, you can hit the soda cans probably with the iron sight, but it's not the easiest thing in the world. And you can use the scope, and it's like, you got fucking crosshairs. Obviously, it's so easy. And you can just see the pop can perfect, crosshairs lined up perfect, boom, you can just kill them all. The point is, shooting anything beyond 10 yards is just so much nicer with the scope. So I kind of disagree with what my dad said about, people don't put scopes. I mean, I know they do, but generally people don't. He's saying generally people just put like a red dot on an AR. And that's true, but I really enjoy the scope. Basically, it makes reaching out anything past 10 yards so much nicer. And to be fair, most of the shooting you're going to be with a rifle, in my opinion, is going to be past 10 yards. So the point is, the scope is very useful in my opinion. Very, 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 very useful. I hate shooting stuff without it, to be honest. Like I said, you line up those Coke cans at 15 yards with the iron sights, it's just an ugly sight, Your front post covers the whole damn can. You don't have any precision, But with this scope, it's easy. So yeah, I recommend the scope. It's nice. It's not it kind of, like, when trying to look through it, it's not the greatest. You have to kind of position your eye right. I guess it's because it's not the most expensive scope in the world. You have to kind of position your eye right to see through it. But having said that, just overall, it's a great scope. It has these cool adjustment things where you can adjust it. You don't need any tools. You can just turn it, and then you just lock it down by turning this ring underneath it. It's hard to explain, but so you don't need any tools to adjust the scope. It has these quick detach rings on it, which you can just, the way I've got it, I ended up having to get a riser bar. I got that for like $6 or something off Amazon too. That's just this metal thing that just raises the scope up. It works a lot better. Just go on Amazon and get you a cheap riser bar if you get this scope in the AR. It allows a few things. First of all, when the scope was mounted directly on the gun, it was a little too low. It was hard. The whole thing about my eye just couldn't naturally see the scope as well. You have to kind of crane your neck down and stuff. With the riser bar, all that's much better. It's just much more natural to fit with the riser bar. You can see through it much more naturally. If you don't have the riser bar, you'll notice your front sight kind of getting in the way of the scope a little bit. You'll see this shadowy object there, which it's fine to have a front sight in the scope because the scope focuses past the sight. But if scope's kind of low or whatever, you'll still see it a little bit. And it's not an issue, so use the scope fine, but it's a little annoying. With this riser bar, I don't even ever see this front sight, It completely takes that away. The other thing was, I believe that this back sight, I couldn't leave it on and have the scope on without the riser bar. And I kind of wanted it where I could just detach the scope quickly if need be and go back to the iron sights. I don't know why. Maybe in a self-defense situation or something. Of course, it would take like a few seconds. It's not like something you could instantly do. But now I've got that set up. This is a flip-up rear sight. So all I have to do is pop these off, flip the back sight up, and I got iron sights again. That's nice. Nice touch, if you ask me. Riser bar makes it where the scope is, has clearance over the rear sight. It makes it where it's much easier to align your eye to it. You don't have to crane your neck down to see into it. It looks neater, so I recommend the riser bar. I don't know exactly which one I got, but it was like $6.99 on here. You can see how it attaches with these two. Recommend the riser bar. Recommend the UTG Bugbuster scope, although I think for scopes you might be able to do better. I just don't have enough experience. There's this particular Nikon one I want that's like $100. That's the one I really want now. I don't know if I'll spend $100 on it, but I know Nikon's a real good brand. But this is a good basic scope, especially if you can get it for a good enough price. Like I said, for me, getting it out the door for $30, at least I call it $30 because it was 30 credit that I didn't really consider that I had. Even at the $64, real price, very worth it. Great scope, and I can always take that off and put it on a 22 or put it on what the hell ever later on, because I am kind of thinking about getting a 22 rifle and so forth. If I get if I get that $100 Nikon scope, I kind of don't want, or whatever. But yeah, get an AR. I look at this thing every day, and it's so cool. 30 round mag. That's ultimate home defense. I'd worry about over penetration a little bit for home defense, but not much. Kind of got to jam the mag in when it's full like this. Can't get it in right without holding it, and then I'll probably fuck up my phone and delete this video accidentally again. Hey, it will not go in. Now I'm gonna do it on cam, damn it. It's just not gonna. Golly, it will not lock. And I don't want to move my hand. Hold on. Oh, I'm ticked. I need like, there, finally. Didn't want to go in. It was annoying me once I couldn't get to go in. I had to prove I could. Yeah, get an AR. Look, they're $470. Get this Bugbuster scope for $60-$70, and it makes the gun look 10 times cooler, and also it's a lot more effective. Very neat, awesome gun. You know, get you this Glock 2 if you want. It's a second. Oops, I hit my scope. Hope I didn't hurt nothing. Awesome gun. Awesome. Oh, some other just details about this. You know, I'm not the best shooter in the world or anything, but this gun is so accurate. You know, I shoot my little dinky pistols, and I can't hit a fucking pop can at 7 yards half the time. Once this scope was sighted in and everything, like, you do not ever miss them with this gun. Granted, I only shoot at like 15 to 20 yards with it, because the place I shoot, the particular spot I shoot, that's all the room I have. But, you know, you say 15 yards, it sounds like nothing, but 15 yards is actually a long way. That's 50 feet, basically. I don't know how to put it. That doesn't sound like a lot either, but it kind of is. You know, 20 yards is like 60 feet. It's farther than you think. It's pretty far. You know, think of 60 yards is over half of, well, yes, I guess. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Never mind on that one. I was going to say half a football field, but that's yards, not feet. But yeah, it's so accurate. I mean, it's a freaking tack driver. I put up paper targets and shoot them sometimes. This thing will shoot like such nice groups. Oh my gosh, it's a nice gun. Nice gun. Never had a failure. You know, never even thought about having a failure. I've never cleaned it yet because I haven't put that many rounds through it. But you know, it's probably got 200 or something through it. 300, I don't know. But it's never even dreamt about having a failure to, you know, a malfunction of any type. I mean, a malfunction, what's that? I don't even know what that is when it comes to this gun. It's just not even something you think about. Super accurate, like I said. Very little recoil, amazingly. You know, it does not recoil that much. It's just like, this is one deadly ass, cool ass gun, and you can get it right now for like $470 for the Ruger. I'd get the Ruger or the Smith & Wesson. I think the Smith & Wesson's a little more, but and also somebody said somewhere that the Ruger has a cold forged barrel. And there's all these terms with ARs you got to get to know. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I guess the Smith & Wesson doesn't, the Ruger does, and the cold forged barrel's better. I don't even know if that's true, or you know, maybe the Smith & Wesson does have a cold forged barrel now. I don't know what a cold forged barrel is. I don't know, but it's supposedly good. I think it's more hardy, you know, tougher barrel. And I guess the Ruger has it, and the Smith & Wesson don't. And I've seen some people online badmouthing Ruger. Oh, that, you know, I haven't even had a dream, like I said, a dream of a problem with this thing. It functions absolutely 1,000% flawless. Great gun. Can't recommend it enough. No recoil. Looks badass. I mean, like I said, almost a year after I got it, I still just look over at it sitting in the closet corner. I leave it out of its case, I guess, just to look at it or maybe grab it if somebody ever intrudes in the middle of the night or something. I mean, I got my Glock under my bed for that, but if I have time, I would get this, I suppose. And I mean, it just looks so neat. You can show it to people and be like, look at this badass thing. You know, it's so intimidating. You know, or like, what if a situation ever went down where some shit hit the fan and you really need to pay a visit to somebody or something? You know, I don't know what that would be, but I'm just saying, if you did, to have this bad boy in your possession, you know you ain't goofing around with this thing. Super neat gun. And fairly cheap, as I mentioned. Super accurate, super reliable. 30 rounds in the mag. The ammo is a little expensive compared to 9mm. Everything's expensive compared to 9mm. 9mm I can get 100 rounds for like $18.97 at Walmart. Now granted, that's like a historically low price. We're just coming out of ammo shortages. But yeah, I can get 100 rounds of Winchester 9mm ball for $18.97 right now at Walmart. This runs about $6.99. What I buy is Academy, and I buy I don't buy in bulk, and I don't buy online. You can get online, I think, about 1,000 rounds for generally like $300. But to me, I just can't. I know that I'll spend that much eventually anyway, but I can't rationalize spending $300 on. It's like $300 to buy a gun. I can't. I just can't. I've probably spent. I probably haven't actually, but I'll probably spend that much in ammo eventually for this. Yeah, but I just can't rationalize it in one swoop. It's just too damn much money. But I buy these. I think they're Federal Eagle or something. Some brand that Academy always has on sale. They'll have boxes of 20 for $6.99. So $7 for 20. What does that work out to for 100? $35 for 100. 35 cents a round if you go that way. But if you realize that you're buying such a small amount of rounds, it's not bad at all. Because whenever you buy volume, you get a discount. So I think you're getting a good price at 35 cents a round, and you're only having to buy 20 at a time. Because I'll just buy, sometimes I'll just go in Academy, I'll just pick up one little box of them, what the heck. Or sometimes two, you just build them up slowly. And, right now I've got 5 or 6 of them in my bag, and then I'll shoot a few if I go to the range. And then, but yeah, the ammo I buy is just the Federal. Like I said, Academy usually has them on sale right now for about $6.99. Actually, last time I went to Walmart, Walmart's way cheaper than Academy on 9 ammo, and I didn't realize it. I thought I was getting a great deal on 9 ammo from Academy. I was getting a 100 box of Winchester for $22.99, $23 for 100. Then one day I went to Walmart and I saw they got the same stuff for $18.97. You're talking about $4 less, But I haven't seen a lot of 5.56 ammo at Walmart, and if I have, I haven't noticed it being cheaper. So, and last time I was in there, I even asked the guy, and he said we don't have any or whatever. We were looking around. He knew about as much as I do. We were just trying to see if there was any. They got in that glass case behind the gun counter. And he's like, "What?" I said, "So y'all don't carry 5.56?" I thought maybe just because of the anti-gun stuff, maybe they just weren't carrying 5.56. He said, "No, I think we carry it, but we just don't have any right now." That sounded weird, but I have not noticed any 5.56 at Walmart cheaper than the $6.99 for 20 at Academy. I'll put it that way. Steel ammo, that's another thing. A lot of people will say, "Oh, it's just as good." They'll even get mad at you. It's fine. But for me personally, I'm just not going to touch steel ammo. I'm OCD like that. It's probably perfectly fine. I don't care. I'm not going to use it. For one thing, you're not saving that much. I don't remember what it is, but the steel ammo is not really that much cheaper. And then on top of that, I don't shoot this gun enough to matter, it's not like I'm at the range putting 500 rounds a day through it or something, or it's going to save me a lot of money. For the 100 rounds every couple, maybe every month on average, I may shoot through this thing or something. I can afford the extra $1 for real brass ammo, It doesn't really matter to me. $1 per 20 probably. I don't even know how much cheaper the steel stuff is, but I just remember it's not that much. I think maybe you can get it for like $5.50 for 20 instead of $7. I'll pay the difference. I'm just OCD like that. I just feel like I'd rather put real brass quality shit through my gun, Like I said, the people who like steel, it seems like they'll almost get mad at you about that, Like, how dare you not accept steel ammo? It's not that, if you want to do it, great, and I'm sure it's fine. I'm usually that guy who says, like, quit being a weenie, quit worrying about it. But, I don't know why. Just in this case, I'm not going to shoot steel in it. But, yes, I recommend go buy you an AR-15. They look neat, they're fun, they're accurate, they're reliable. If you want, you can spend a bunch of money on they're a great toy, in the world of guys and toys. I think this is about as good a toy as you can get. It's just like my video game consoles, or my my HDR 4K TV, or my new gaming PC, whatever you may get, as a toy. It's not like I spend a lot of money on all this stuff. I just made it sound like I was rich or something, because my TV that I currently have costs $349 at Walmart. I rebuilt my PC for like $400. put the minus the video card. I guess I put a $260 video card in there too at the time. But I hardly spend like tons of money, so don't get me wrong on that. But point is, in the world of toys and cool shit, you know, this is a machine. This is finely machined. That's why I like, you know, for toys. What is this? This is a piece of metal that like fits together perfect and is finely machined, and you know, that's what's cool about it. That's what's cool about a toy. It's look at this. You know, look at this contraption here. This thing is so neat. I mean, this is some of the finest engineering and stuff you're gonna see. And so yeah, that's my recommendation. Buy an AR-15.